Movies, television, books.
Music, games, comics.
Pop culture is one of the things that makes life worth living.
And pop culture can be a window into your soul.
Welcome to Blew My Mind,
where Shrink Tank contributors share personal,
mind-blowing
pop culture experiences.
I'm Dr. Craig Pohlman, neurodevelopmental psychologist, author, Beatles fan, Trekkie, and Yoda disciple.
And I'm Juliet Kuhnle, therapist, writer, singer, and Duke basketball fan.
I'm surprised you didn't include Stage Mom in your introduction there.
Oh, right. We totally have to add that to my line. That's me now.
Yeah.
Proud of it. And joining us today is Elise Howell. Elise is a therapist who specializes in anxiety, trauma, and transition in the lives of women and teens.
Elise, do you have any, sort of entertainment spotlight, moments in the sun, times when you've performed that you can share with us?
I have.
You're a singer too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to do choir and theater way back in the day. My favorite performance was being Kim McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, today we're talking about Waitress, an excellent movie that was released in 2007 and in 2015 was adapted into a hit Broadway musical, including songs by Sarah Bareilles. Craig, start us off.
I love this movie. I have very strong feelings about this movie. And it was directed by Adrienne Shelly. And part of the fascination I have with this movie is her tragic story.
That's right.
It was released in 2007. She was murdered in 2006 before it was released. She was murdered in her apartment in New York City. The police initially thought it was a suicide, but her husband pressed for an investigation, and they found that a construction worker had killed her and made it look like a suicide. So it's just terrible.
I didn't realize the timing of that it
Yeah.
was prior to the release.
So so it was released posthumously. So she directed it. And she also is in it, and she's in it from the very beginning. She plays one of Jenna's friends, and Jenna is the main character, who's played by Kerry Russell. And it's she's so great. Another reason I love this movie, going all the way back to Felicity.
Oh my gosh, yes, with her signature curly hair.
Yeah, and she's now in The Americans, which is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
So Kerry Russell plays Jenna, who is a waitress, and she is married to this dirtbag guy named Earl. Why is it that has there ever been a decent character named Earl?
Earl had to die, right? Even
exactly.
the Dixie Chicks had to talk about
Bad
it.
guy's
It's
always
terrible.
Earl.
That's right.
So, Earl is her terrible husband, and she doesn't have a really great life. And, she's got this job at this diner, but she is an excellent baker, and she specializes in pies. And so she escapes her dreary marriage and life by fantasizing about different pie recipes. And so there are these neat moments in the movie when she just kind of loses herself and imagines what these different pie flavors would be in different combinations of ingredients. So it's a movie you do not want to watch on an empty stomach. And I wrote about this movie along with Josh Jensen in our book Cinema Analysis, and we paired this movie with Like Water for Chocolate, another really neat movie about food and love. And we wrote about how the sciences show that food really does have an aphrodisiac quality to it. So, Jenna goes through this movie, and she finds out she's pregnant really early on, and she hates the fact that she might be having, or she is going to have, Earl's baby. So let's play a clip where she makes this discovery.
Hon, you okay? Shh. I'm inventing a new pie in my head. Tomorrow's Blue Plate Special. I'm calling it, I Don't Want Earl's Baby Pie. I don't think we can write that on the menu board, hon. Then I'll just call it Bad Baby Pie. What's in it, honey? It's a quiche of egg and brie cheese with a smoked ham center. Sounds good, baby.
So right off the bat in the movie, Jenna finds out she's pregnant. She hates the idea of having Earl's baby, and she immediately goes into this sort of trance where she imagines a pie that she's going to bake, and that's her refuge. That's her way of escaping. I'm just curious. I love this movie. I have not seen the Broadway musical. Does this kind of play into the plot of the musical?
Yes, absolutely. So in the musical, she finds out very early on as well about the pregnancy. And there's a great song, Focus on the Negative, that her friends sing while she's taking the pregnancy test because they obviously want it to be negative.
So clever.
Yes, it's a clever moment. And throughout the musical, she is definitely having those same moments where she escapes, and they have the whimsical music play, and a pie comes out, and her baking station is whipped out onto the stage, and she's just throwing in her fantasies into the pie. And it's a really great representation of how she's escaping from the reality she does not want to be in.
And Juliet, why don't you share your connection with Waitress the musical, because it's really cool.
So as mentioned, I am now an official stage mom.
Hard carrying.
That's me. My 5-year-old was cast as Jenna's daughter, Lulu, here at the traveling national tour when it was in Charlotte last month. So Harper played Lulu in the final scene of the show. And so she's Jenna's daughter, and when she's in this scene, she's 5 years old. And and actually Elise can talk more to the story because I was backstage the whole time, so I have not seen the full show. I just got to hear it piped through the speakers backstage, and then I'm very familiar with the final scene, as my daughter has had us act it out time and time again. And it was a really, really surreal and amazing experience. Great cast, great show, fun music, just an awesome time.
And so Harper appears at the very, very end of the show.
Yep, the final scene.
So what was her sort of mood like during the show? Like, was she getting nervous? I mean, did you have to keep her calm? What was that like being a stage mom backstage?
So as a 5-year-old, I mean, she just had no inhibitions. I mean, she did not even know to be nervous. So everyone kept asking her that, and I would sort of be, behind her going like, don't ask that. It didn't even occur to her to be nervous. She was having so much fun. Her favorite part was connecting with the cast and doing like the final bow, the curtain call, and just being part of a team. So I'm back there, freaking out thinking, well, she's 5. I have no idea what she's going to do. Is she going to freeze when she gets out there and sees 2,000 plus people watching her? Is she going to go rogue? I had no idea what was going to happen, and she just nailed it. And now she totally has the acting bug and wants to do more. Though I will say I'm not sure where you kind of go from here, because that was pretty epic start to her acting career.
Well,
can only go up, right? Yeah.
I know and adore Harper, and I knew that if you had a problem, it wasn't going to be her freezing. She was going to.
I should have known, right?
Bring it full on. I thought maybe she'd like extemporaneous a little bit up on stage, but she was going to just own the moment.
And she had 2 lines. She had choreography. I mean, she was a real part of it, so it was neat.
And that last scene is so hopeful, and it has a ton of energy, so I can imagine she just got wrapped up in that.
Yes, you're exactly right.
And it's cool, spoiler alert, that at the end of the show, Jenna has, she's gotten out of the situation she was in, and she has her own diner where she gets to bake all of the pies in the world, and it's called Lulu's. And that I think Lulu's the anchor of the story, and she's the motivation for Jenna to turn her life around, really pursue her passion of baking.
So in the movie, she's really a disgruntled pregnant mom the whole way through. And she gets into this extramarital affair with her gynecologist.
Mm-hmm.
And now one of the things that's neat about the movie is that they have this romance, but that's not what drives the story. Like, they don't end up together. Like, this isn't about him rescuing her in any way. And it's not until she gives birth and is holding Lulu in her arms in the hospital that she falls in love with her child and the idea of being a mom. I mean, she really sort of resented the whole thing until that moment. How's that in the past?
Yeah, and that's when she kicks Earl to the curb.
Let's listen to that part of the movie.
Hey, you remember what I said? Don't you go loving that baby too much.
I don't love you, Earl. I haven't loved you for years. I want a divorce.
Well, that's not a funny joke. We got this new baby here. Shouldn't be making jokes like that.
I want you the hell out of my life. You are never to touch me ever again. I am done with you. If you ever come within 6 yards of me, I will flatten your sorry ass, and I will enjoy doing it.
Go on, girl.
You go, girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting back to Earl the jerk, he is a terrible husband in so many ways, but one of the things that really, really bothered me was there's a moment sort of in the middle of the movie when she goes into one of her pie-making trances, and she's imagining a new recipe, and she's doing this because he's droning on and on about something really boring having to do with him. He's really narcissistic. And then he interrupts her, and he demands to know what she was thinking about. And she says, I was listening to you. And then he says, no, well, then I want you to tell me what I was saying in the exact words. So it really got it, like, he wouldn't even let her have that mental space for her to be creative. He just is an infuriating character.
And it's interesting, his character, well, the actor who played Earl when I saw it in New York last summer, is now on the NBC show Rise and also plays kind of like a bad husband character. But yeah, so I don't like Earl either.
Yeah. And we have to mention how brilliant Sarah Bareilles was in writing this soundtrack.
Yes.
I mean, in the musical, it is just phenomenal.
And I can confirm that. So I have a very dear friend who's a theater manager at Brooke Atkinson Theater in New York, and he says that she is as wonderful as we all hope.
Oh,
Yay!
love her.
Yes.
Jenna, what's the special pie today?
Deep shit blueberry bacon.
Deep shit.
Dish. Deep dish. Sorry, cow.
Come on, girl.
The day starts like the rest we've seen. Another carbon copy of an old routine.
Days keep coming.
One out, one in. They keep coming.
And make that coffee strong.
You know, there's a trend that goes back really decades on Broadway of taking a movie and then converting it to a musical and adding the music. And I never would have thought of doing that with Waitress when I saw it, but it totally made sense when I heard that they were doing it. So I'm just curious, what did y'all feel of it as a musical, not having seen the movie?
It has so much energy. You want to be dancing and also crying throughout the whole entire show. I think it pulls you in and out of these magical, exciting moments and also the emotion of Jenna's journey. Like, she used to be mine. You want to be eyeballed throughout the
Gives me chills, yes.
whole song. But then the opening number, the closing number, even some moments that are more tense, they infuse it with. Sarah Bareilles did an amazing job. Just very energetic, quirky numbers that I loved.
And it's an almost 3-hour show. I mean, so
Really?
it's long, but you are engaged the whole time. And yeah, the energy is phenomenal.
Keep racing. Let's make mistakes when I say so. Can't make worse what is already pretty bad. This secret is safe. No reason to throw it away. When there's love to be had. Hold me tight as I tell myself. You might make sense and make good what has been.
So great. Waitress, an awesome movie, awesome musical. And I should mention that the products that we've talked about here, the movie and the musical and the book, Cinema Analysis, are all available on links that we've provided on our website. So let's wrap up. If you're listening and have a thought about Waitress or would like to share an idea for a show topic, please email us at feedback@shrinktank.com.
Thank you, Elise, for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
You bet. Our audio engineer and editor is Sean Beck, and he does such a good job that he deserves a piece of pie a la mode.
Be sure to check out all of the content, including articles, videos, quizzes, and surveys on our website.
Shrinktank.com is the place for all of your psychology and pop culture needs. Until next time, I'm Craig Pohlman,
I'm Juliet Kuhnle.
and this is Blew My Mind.
Shrinktank.com